Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Y'all, let's do some more inexpensive, posh paper crafting. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. I am so thankful that you decided to stop by and spend some time with me. Today we are going to make something oh so useful, oh so inexpensive, and oh so posh. In a recent video I made these awesome cardboard mailers using gift boxes from the Dollar Tree. And they are so inexpensive to make, and you're able to customize them and decorate them however you want them to be, and you're able to use all of your beautiful papers in the process. And of course, this is a craft for any season, any reason, any gender. Well, after that video, I received so many requests asking me if I could make a chunky envelope for some of those chunkier cards that we like to make. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making our own chunky lopes, and we're not going to use a punch board at all to make this. And the finished size of this is 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and it's 1 inch deep. So yes, go ahead and pile those chunkies on your card, because this 1 inch deep chunky lope is certainly made to hold some of those chunkier cards or those more embellished cards that you might want to make and send. So y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, y'all, so here is a closer look at our chunky envelope. And you can see that we do have that 1 inch depth on the side. And when we open it, you're able to get a closer look at just how deep this is on the inside. Now, I closed mine using magnets, but that's not necessary, because if you want to drop this in the mail, you would certainly seal it closed so that whatever you have inside couldn't be tampered with. Or if you wanted to use the Velcro dot and you're going to hand it off to someone, you can certainly do that as well. So you do have several closure options on a project like this. Now I am going to show you just how simple this is to make. So we need a 12 by 12 piece of decorative paper so that you can have a decorative outside. I would recommend using your lightweight scrapbook papers. And then I'm going to use, for this project, I am going to use a piece of the Dollar Tree poster board. However, you can deconstruct one of the large gift boxes and cut it down to 11 by 11, because that is the size that we're going to need to make this project. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 11 by 11. Now my poster board is already 11 by 14. So I'm just going to remove part of it and make it 11 by 11. So this means that you don't even need poster board for this. If you just want to make this box using your heavyweight cardstock, you certainly can. Just cut your piece at 11 by 11. So I am going to take my poster board outside, and I'm going to spray it using my Elmer spray adhesive. Now, if you have a sticker maker that will apply adhesive to the back of a 12 by 12, you can also use that, or you can tape the back. Or as I am about to do, you can take it outside and spray it with a spray adhesive. Just make sure that when you're spraying this, you are spraying it outdoors. Okay, so now that I have sprayed my poster board, I am going to flip my paper over, and I'm going to place this down. And I'll smooth it out. I'm going to grab my big old spatula and just go over this to make sure that I have a nice stick on this. Then I'm going to take my finger blade and just trim away the excess paper. And the paper that I'm using is from Hobby Lobby's The Paper Studio, and they sell these wonderful paper kits. So if you're having any problems trying to find patterns that will match, why not just buy a paper crafting kit or buy a paper pad? That way the papers will always be designed to work together. Now this was $5.99 and it was 50% off, so I paid $3 for this entire kit, and I have so many beautiful papers on the inside that I'll be able to work with. Sorry about that glare. So here is the process for making that chunky envelope so that you can have the most accurate folds. So we're going to take this 11 by 11 and we're going to turn it on the diagonal. And I'm just going to go through this exercise with you guys really quick so that when it's time for you to design your own envelopes, you'll know the process. So we turn it on the diagonal and we're simply identifying the length of this on the diagonal. And it's 15¼ inches. So for this envelope, you really don't need to worry about that. I'm just showing you the process in case you want to do this yourself. So we take the 15¼ inches and divide it in 2, which is going to give us 7 5/8. So all we need to do is make sure that when we place it in, we have it at the 7 5/8 inch mark. And we want to make sure that we have it that way coming all the way down. So now on my scoreboard, all of my points will start at 7 5/8. So to help you stay straight, I'll take my marker and I'm going to position it in that 7 5/8 inch groove and bring it all the way down. And then I'm going to bring it up into that groove that's at the bottom. That way I know that this is my starting point. Now, I don't mind writing on my scoreboard with pen or ink, but if you don't want to write on yours, so just make your mark there so you'll know where you're supposed to be, and then come all the way down to the bottom and make your mark there, and that will help you to stay aligned with your points. Because every time we put this in, we need to have that point beginning on that 7 5/8 inch mark. Now, because we're on the diagonal, that means that this is longer, and that's okay because we're going to do a little trick to make sure that we stay aligned. So to make sure that we're going to be aligned top and bottom, we made those marks. So we have the mark here at the top and at the bottom. And so to make sure that we are aligned top and bottom, take your point, place it at the 7 5/8 at that top piece, let this piece at the bottom overhang, then lift it and keep your finger here to hold that in place. Lift it and line it up with your mark. And when you have it lined up with your mark, just place it down. So then to help you stay aligned, take some washi tape and put that washi right there. And put some washi right here. So all we've done is we have placed our washi tape right here at the bottom so that every time we put our paper in and we go point to point, we're going to make sure that it falls in between these and it's lined up at the top at 7 5/8. So every time I turn it, I'm going to line it up at 7 5/8, and then I can slide it over to make sure that it's falling inside of those marks that I placed here. That is going to give us accurate markings every time that we rotate the paper, and that's exactly what we want. So hopefully that didn't confuse you. The easiest thing to do, if you don't mind marking on your scoreboard, find your 7 5/8, mark all the way down, then mark up just a little bit so that you'll know where that mark is. Take the corner of your cardstock, place it in, line it up with that ink mark that you made at the bottom, lay it down, and then you can take your tape and create your guides. So we're going to go ahead and do it now so that you'll see how this process actually works. So I know that there are probably other ways this process is being done. I am going to use my measurements because I do want my folds to be very accurate. If I was doing this where I was doing just single lines, I probably could get away with doing a no measuring fold, but because we are doing double lines, we want those to be as accurate as possible. So I have it in at 7 5/8. I have it in between my two registration marks, and I'm going to score at 3 and at 4. Then I'm going to rotate it to this opposite side and do the same thing. So to do that, I need to rotate it and get that mark in there, and then I'll put it inside of my guide points. So now those first scores that I made are over here. I'm going to score here at 3 and at 4. Now this might be one of those videos that you have to watch a couple of times, but it really is a very simple process to making envelopes on the diagonal, and especially chunky envelopes without a punch board. So now I'm going to rotate it, and you can see that we have our marks on these two ends. We now need to put our scores here. So I am going to place it in my scoreboard and line it up at the bottom. Again, I'm placing it at 7 5/8. That's where it all starts every time I want to make a mark on this particular envelope. But this time I'm going to score at 4 and at 5. And it won't come all the way down, and that's okay. So then I'm going to rotate it to the opposite side, place it in at 7 5/8, because here are those marks that I made at 4 and 5. Then I'll just line it up here at the bottom, and I'm going to score at 4 and 5 again. So 4 and 5. As far as I can go. So now all we need to do is fold and burnish all of our scores. And I am giving a nice crisp burnish because I am using that poster board. So I want to make sure that I have a nice fold on these. And so now we have everything the way that we need it to be to make our envelope. So now we need to remove some pieces. So what we're going to do on all of our scores, we're going to cut outward, and we're going to remove this piece and this piece on all 4 sides. So I'll go up to my score mark, and I'm going to drag straight down on both sides, and then I'll remove this piece, remove that piece, and now I can angle in on both of these. And we do this on all 4 sides. So I am just going to go up to that score mark and angle down, and it's the second score mark. I'll go to the second score mark here, come down, and then I'll remove this piece, and I'll remove that piece. And then I can angle these pieces. We'll do the same thing on this side. So we're going to go up to the second score mark and drag down here, remove that piece, and remove this piece. And now we'll just angle. And let's do that last one. So go up to that second score mark, drag straight down, do the same thing here, remove that piece, and remove this piece. And now, as you can see, we have a nice little envelope that we can put together. And so the way that we're going to do it is we're going to take these 2 tabs, we'll add our glue, we're going to bring up the side piece and get it nice and even. I'll stand it up, go on the inside with my big old spatula to get it nice and stuck, and then we can move over to this side, get that nice and stuck. And so now we have our tabs down. We'll be bringing this up and gluing it down. So I am just going to place my glue right there right there. And then I'll be placing glue right along that piece there and halfway to the top of this piece. So I'll move it to this side, going to place my glue right there, and then about halfway up. So now I can take this piece, bring it up, but before I stick everything down, I want to bring over the top to make sure that I have a nice squared box. So I'm making sure that everything is nice and even. Then when I know it is, I can open this, go on the inside, and get it nice and stuck. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to reduce that in size just a little bit. And then I'm also going to take my finger blade and just angle that a little deeper because it makes it easier to fold in. So now we can take this, put it in, fold it over, and that's how easy it is, y'all, to make these nice chunky boxes for those chunky cards that you might make. And then to close mine, I am again going to use a magnet. You can use a Velcro dot, or you can glue it together completely if you want. But the way that I'm going to do it is I need to figure out where exactly I want to position this. So I am just eyeballing, and I know that I want it to go kind of sort of right there. Add a glue dot to the back of that magnet. I'm going to take my finger, go on the inside, and try to get it aligned with where I had made that mark. And so now I can take my next magnet, let it find that first one. I'm going to take my glue dot, place that glue dot on that magnet, and then I'll fold in my tabs, bring it over, align it with where it needs to be, and now we have the magnet transferred to the top piece. I am going to do a very simple top decoration to this. I'm going to use one of the embellishment sheets that came in that kit that I showed you guys that I got from Hobby Lobby for $3. And then I'll take this little piece right here and just place it on the top, and it says "Let It Snow." And you can see what a gorgeous chunky envelope we have. So like I said earlier, it might help you to go back and watch the process a few times because it's not difficult. It's just a new process. But once you get that diagonal concept down and then making some type of marking on your scoreboard, then you'll find that this process is very easy for making these boxes in a variety of sizes. So I am going to bring both of these back in so you guys can see that we have two gorgeous 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 inch boxes. That is perfect for holding those chunky 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch cards. Perfect for that. So guys, I hope that you have found this video very helpful and inspiring. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.